So much has been said about the life and career of Michael Jackson that it has become almost impossible to disentangle the man from the myth. He's been performing since the age of 5, breaking records since he was 11, and a star without equal since the age of 21. Recent revelations are only the latest installments of a saga that began decades ago. From his drilling as a child star with the Jackson 5, to his rise as the king of pop, followed by his public humiliation and spectacular fall from grace. We'll be examining the real story and fame phenomena of a black American icon who was destined to become the most controversial figure in the world. Born in Gary, Indiana in 1958, Michael Joseph Jackson was 7th of 9 brothers and sisters. His father, Joseph Jackson, who had a reputation as a strict disciplinarian, organized a family band made up of his children, Jackie, Jermaine, Tito, and Marlon. In 1963, at the tender age of 5, Michael joined the group. Joseph scheduled a strict regime for Michael and his brothers. Relentless hours of practice left very little time for normal childhood activities. In 1966, the brothers won a talent contest at the renowned Apollo Theater in New York's Harlem district, and within a year had supported Gladys Knight and the Pips. Gladys recommended the group to Motown Records.
I felt something from this group of young kids. Joe Jackson and Catherine were very into their children, and they were struggling trying to get these young men introduced to the entertainment world. And Joe had come by. He would bring them by the theater every single day. And the Pips were really more familiar with the guys than I was, and they had been talking about them for the longest time. So I said, well, hey, let me see what I can do. So I went, and we were with Motown at the time, and I went and I called the company, and I asked them if they could send a representative out to see these young kids because they were performing on the talent show that Wednesday night. And I didn't carry a whole lot of weight at the company at that time. And they said, well, we'll do the best we can.
Motown sent a young executive, Suzanne DePass, to meet the boys. And the Jackson 5 were born.
I was with Motown for I'd been with them for about 14 days and was living in an apartment building where another artist at the company, Bobby Taylor, lived. And he called me because he knew I worked in Berry Gordy's office, and he said, you've got to come down. And I went down to his apartment, and there, sort of stretched out across the living room floor, were Michael and his brothers and Joe and a couple of other people who were with them at the time. And I was like curious, and Bobby clapped his hands and he says, okay boys, get up, let's sing. And Michael and his brothers got up and they sang a cappella, and it really blew me away.
Michael Jackson first entered a recording studio in 1967, just 3 months after his 9th birthday. By the age of 10, he became lead vocalist. A year later, he and his older brothers released their first single, I Want You Back. It became more than just a hit. It was an oral steamroller. It shot to #1 in America, selling 2 million copies. Michael was just 11 years old. Jackson Mania had arrived.